Hey everyone, Mr. Google here, and I'm here to do my top 10 worst films of 2012 list. And I've seen a ton of shitty movies this year, and hell, the year isn't even over yet. I still have tons of other movies to see. I'm not going to be done until Zero Dark 30 comes out on January 11th for me to do my top 10 of 2012. But down below in the description box you can see my honorable mentions. I have the 20 other dishonorable mentions for the worst films of the year. And you can see a director that's twice on there, Mr. Tim Burton. You suck. Let's just jump right into them. At number 10, I have Francis Ford Coppola's Twixt. Now, Twixt is a film that not a lot of people have seen, and for good reason. It's a piece of crap. It's a film that came to the 2011 Toronto International Film Festival, and it was pretty hyped because it's Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, he hasn't done the stuff that he's known for in a while, like the Godfather movies, or Apocalypse Now, or The Outsiders, but he did such a terrible job with this movie. It's a travesty. This is one of the worst movies I've seen in a very long time. Obviously, since it's on my top 10. The only reason why it's not lower on the list is because Val Kilmer is in it. I'm not just saying Val Kilmer is great in the movie. He's not. But there's one scene where he's just... it just turns into a comedy out of nowhere, and it's just so unbalanced. The story isn't interesting at all, and not even Val Kilmer could save this movie, because I really do love Val Kilmer. It's just... this movie was ass, and it has one of the worst endings I've seen all year. At number 9, I have the rock and roll musical adaptation, Rock of Ages. Now, Rock of Ages had to be one of the worst theater experiences I've ever had. Now, I didn't review this movie. I actually saw this movie pretty late. I saw it at my cheap theater, and holy crap was this movie terrible. Oh my god. And first of all, I just want to tell you this. I'm not a fan of musicals, and that's partly the reason why I'm not interested in seeing Les Mis. I'm going to see Les Mis eventually. I'll probably see it in a couple days, but it's definitely not going to be as bad as Rock of Ages. That's why I'm doing this list. I don't think I'm going to see anything that's going to be as god-awful, or hope to be as god-awful as these 10 movies. But Rock of Ages honestly had me debating on whether or not I should walk out in the first scene. Because the first scene of this movie, they're singing Sister Christian, a song that was perfected by Paul Thomas Anderson in Boogie Nights. It's just butchered here to... oh my god. And that's how it is with most of these musical numbers. They just break out into song for no reason at all. It has nothing to do with the story. They're just going to do a popular song for all the 80s music fans out there. Hit me with your best shot. Or, I want to rock. Woo! Yeah, rock then. Fucking assholes. And how they try to incorporate, like, the boy band aspect is, like, awful. The only reason this movie isn't, like, lower on the list is because I had some laughs out of it, and the ending credits were sort of cool. That's a weird thing to say, but some of the performances were actually sort of entertaining. Like, Tom Cruise does give it his best shot, but it doesn't save the movie by any stretch of the imagination. You have Paul Giamatti. Poor Paul Giamatti. He's had a pretty good year, but Jesus Christ, what is he doing in this movie? Like, and Alec Baldwin and Russell Brand have this whole gay subplot, literally, and I'm not a homophobe. It's just, for no reason, that it's just, oh, I'm gay, I'm in love with you. And Russell Brand, one of the worst human beings alive right now. He hasn't made me laugh since the first time he hosted the VMAs. And the second time he hosted, I started hating him. And he sucks. And he's awful. And he should die. At number 8, I have Seeking Justice. Seeking Justice is also known as its original title, which they say 50 times in this movie, The Hungry Rabbit Jumps. And if you don't believe me, if you watch this movie, the last line of the movie is, The Hungry Rabbit Jumps. This is the worst Nicolas Cage movie I've seen in a very long time. It's worse than Ghost Rider 2, which was my number 11 of the year, for the worst of the year, if you see on my dishonorable mentions list. And this is just like, he's not even trying. It's a dumbass revenge film. Him and January Jones have no chemistry. January Jones in this movie just proves even more that she's an awful actress. I mean, I don't even find her that attractive, and that sort of happens to a lot of these actresses, like Jessica Alba. Like, they can be as hot as they can be, but if they can't act, it's like, their hotness sort of like dies down for me. Just getting that out of the way, Guy Pearce is in this movie, and, you know, despite him giving some good performances, like in Prometheus, and especially in Lawless, he had a really bad year. Like with this and a movie I didn't even finish, Lockout, which I couldn't even sit through 10 minutes of that movie. It was just terrible. That definitely would have made this list. But Seeking Justice is just such a half-assed movie. It thinks it's smarter than it is. The action is awful. You could see Nicolas Cage's stunt double, which is awful. It's just, I don't want to talk about this movie. I ranted about this movie enough in January when I reviewed it. At number 7, it's a movie I didn't review. We have The Cold Light of Day, starring Superman. Now, if there is a justifiable reason as to why I'm not looking forward to the Man of Steel movie as much as everyone else, it's this movie, because this guy, Henry Cavill, who's going to be the next Superman and Man of Steel, obviously, he's awful. He's terrible. And this is one of the most poorly shot movies of the year. They shoot night scenes during the day, which I don't even understand why they do that, because it just gives the movie this weird cartoonish feel. And Bruce Willis is in this movie. He's his dad? He looks nothing like Henry Cavill. And it's just, I don't even know what I can say about this movie. It's just poorly acted. No one saw it. It barely came out in the theaters. I think it came out on DVD a month after it was released in theaters. Who fucking cares about this movie? You know what? Fuck this movie. At number 6, yeah, a Taylor Kitsch movie didn't even make it into my top 5. I have Battleship. Now, Battleship. This was a piece of shit. Alright? I'm not even gonna say, ooh, it's battle shit. No. No. This movie, this has like probably the worst opening scene of the entire year. It's 9 minutes of Taylor Kitsch breaking in to a freaking convenience store, 7-Eleven knockoff, and it starts making a chicken burrito to give to fucking Brooklyn Decker. And then that's how we're supposed to open the movie? To a freaking summer blockbuster? No. And then how that's a freaking, inside joke. The whole movie between these guys, and the last line of the movie is Liam Neeson going up to Taylor Kitsch, hey, let's have lunch. Chicken burrito? Fuck you. What the hell is Liam Neeson doing in this movie? The action? Yeah, the action's okay, but who fucking cares? Alright? The visual effects aren't even that good. The designs on the aliens suck. Poor Jesse Plemons, who's a pretty funny guy, got the only laughs out of him in this movie. It was just, jeez. And when Rihanna isn't the worst part of this movie, she wasn't even that bad. It's just, that you're in for something terrible. And Taylor Kitsch, like, I saw him give a good performance in Savages, and even though I wasn't the hugest fan of Savages, even though I liked it, it was pretty disappointing. He was terrible in this movie. This was an awful leading performance. If 2012 wasn't evident enough, don't put this guy as the leading role in any of your movies ever again. Wow. At number 5, it's one of the most ugly, misogynistic, just terrible, terrible movie. And I think it was directed by a woman. I'm talking about Bachelorette. Now, Bachelorette is a movie I wanted to review, but then I thought of it, and it's like, I don't even need to, waste my time talking about this movie. But since it's the top 10, worst of the year video, I'll talk about it, alright? It stars Kirsten Dunst, Lizzie Kaplan, Rebel Wilson, and Isla Fisher. And, I love Isla Fisher and Lizzie Kaplan. Well, especially Isla Fisher. I think she's really, really hot. And same with Lizzie Kaplan. But, Lizzie Kaplan, this was not a good year for her at all. A movie that just missed my top 30 worst was Save the Date. And she was terrible in that movie. And same with 3-2-1 Frankie Go Boom, which is in my top 20, I think. She was awful in that movie. But it was like, there was no likable character in this movie. Kirsten Dunst is a cunt in this movie. I don't like using that word that much, but she was a cunt. And Kirsten Dunst is a terrible actress. And Rebel Wilson, this is the worst I've seen her yet. She was awful in this movie. Overacted like nobody's business. Lizzie Kaplan and Isla Fisher and Kirsten Dunst have this weird, underdeveloped cocaine addiction, which is just so out of place in this movie. It tries to be a dark comedy. When I was watching it, it tried so hard to be sort of like The Hangover meets Bridesmaids meets some dark comedy, and it doesn't work as a dark comedy at all. And then when it tries to be a romantic comedy between the scenes with Lizzie Kaplan and Adam Scott, where it's like Adam Scott's actually putting his all in this movie, and Adam Scott's a really good actor for it, it doesn't save the movie at all. And I didn't laugh once in this movie. The soundtrack was bad. It was just a really terrible movie. It's really oddly misogynistic for being like a chick comedy, but just don't even waste your time with this movie. At number 4, I have Smiley. Smiley is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen, and even calling it a horror movie is like sort of like a insult to the horror genre, because I don't watch a lot of horror movies. I can perfectly say that, but at the same time, it tries so hard to be sort of like a spoof, but at the same time not being a spoof. It has all this witty dialogue in it, and it just doesn't work. And the comedy is terrible. And a lot of the performances, except like Shane Dawson's, yeah, Shane Dawson wasn't bad in the movie. The main girl was terrible, and her roommate, and when the movie just tries over and over again to give you like a cheap, quick scare, when the roommate pops into frame and goes like, "What are you doing?" I mean, it was just, that's evident why it should be in my top 5 worst of the year. At number 3, I have The Three Stooges. Now, why this movie wasn't critically panned, I don't know. It's just, people were saying, oh, this is a really good tribute to the Three Stooges or whatever. And I wasn't a big Three Stooges fan when I was younger, but I've seen enough of the Three Stooges to get a couple chuckles. And the three guys who do play the Three Stooges in this movie, they do good interpretations. But that doesn't mean the movie deserves to be recommended by everyone. I didn't laugh once. This is one of the dumbest, childish, stupidest movies I've ever seen. It was just dumb. It was just over and over again. It was just one shtick after another, and it was like, get over it. Sofia Vergara was awful in this movie. She's just doing her Modern Family shtick where she's just yelling, and it was just so ugly to watch. I know I'm using that word a lot, but it's just it was ugly. And the Three Stooges, if your kid enjoys this movie, oh jeez, your kid's a dumbass. At number 2, and this was by far my most hated review because everyone disagreed with me, and you guys know what it is. It's Men in Black 3. I couldn't stand Men in Black 3. It was such a disappointment, and honestly, I wasn't even, dying to see this movie. I was just really excited to see it because I loved the first Men in Black. Yeah, the second one was a piece of shit, but people are saying that this movie was a better made movie than the second one, which I completely disagree, because at least the second one had, a consistent amount of, like, charm to it, at least, and the characters were more interesting. In this, there was, like, no characters at all. There was just, let's just go to point A, to point B, to point C, and at the very end, they just go to this terrible, 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 plot twist where it's revealed, and it tries to get an emotional response out of you. I felt like my intelligence was being fucked with. In this movie, I haven't seen a movie this year that insulted my intelligence more than Men in Black 3. And I know it's a goofy sci-fi movie, and you're not supposed to, think too much into it, but I can't, because there's nothing else in this movie that tried to entertain me. Nothing of it entertained me. The comedy writing in this movie is just some of the worst I've ever seen. I know the script was being written when they were filming it, but it was just racist jokes, one after another. We get it. He's black. He's going to the 60s. You don't have to make fun of that. That was racist. That was more racist than how people are saying Django Unchained is racist, which is ridiculous to begin with. And then when the movie tries to explain the fucking time travel, it's like, give me a break. Chocolate milk? Fucking chocolate milk? Are you serious? Chocolate milk has nothing to do with time travel. I know you guys are just going to call me an idiot. Oh, it was just a fun movie. If I hear someone say it was nostalgic, I will shoot you. I will shoot you. I will internet shoot you. This movie was a piece of ass cream. It was ass. And my number 1, it's not a surprise, it was one of the first movies I saw in theaters this year. I'm talking about This Means War. McG directed this, and I've seen McG's movies. I've seen Terminator. I've seen the Charlie's Angels movies. I haven't been offended this much by him at all. And this was one of the worst romantic action comedies I've ever seen, because it wasn't funny. The characters were infuriating. Tom Hardy and Chris Pine had no chemistry. They weren't terrible in the movie. It's just I didn't like their characters. Tom Hardy was like the only likable character in this movie, and at the same time, when he's trying to be like the likable Slav guy, it like defeats the purpose when he's trying to kill Chris Pine over Reese Witherspoon, who has no freaking personality to her at all. And Chelsea Handler gives one of the worst performance of this year in this movie, and how she tries to be funny all the time. It makes me angry when she tries to. And the movie was almost rated R because of her, but they had to cut the rating. The movie, I think, did well at the box office, and people were clapping at the end. They're like, oh, This Means War! and I wanted to kill everyone. I screamed, I stood up, I was like, are you serious? I'm being serious, I did this. And the ending, worst ending of the year, even worse than Men in Black 3. The ending was just so terrible. It was like McG winking to you, like, oh, you paid to see a shitty movie. Good for you, bad for you, it's my money. Fuck you, McG. This is the worst movie of 2012. I'm Mr. G. Don't forget to ski up, subscribe, and I'm fucking out. Fuck you, this means war.